Thanks for joining another episode of Playing the Artist. 'Cause that's what we're doing. We're trying to play the artist. We're trying to fool everybody into thinking we're actually something. Uh, uh, we talk about just being art and being artists and all that fun stuff, and mostly about games and 3D printing and 3D modeling. If you like that kind of stuff, I don't know why I'm moving my arms. Just trying to wake up because it's 7 o'clock and it's pitch black outside.
Yeah,
Alex.
man, I did my push-ups this morning.
Oh, you did?
To wake up and be a little bit more energetic, because that's my struggle as well, man. It's like turning it on before 8 a.m., before 10 a.m. Let's be honest. That's right. Yeah. So, Antoine said the stuff that we talk about. If you're into that sort of thing, please just watch. Just watch us. You don't have to wake up with us. That's not required at all.
Please, just watch us.
Yeah. Like and stuff, and subscribe.
So, dude, how are things? What'd you do? Did you do this weekend?
Yeah.
Please tell me you did some work.
I hung out with you.
Yeah, it was Friday. That didn't count.
Yeah. I've been thinking about my workflow, my process here for making characters for 3D printing.
That's good you say that, because I've also been thinking about that. But you go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, and I feel like something that's really time-consuming is posing. Like, often there's like a point, sometimes in the beginning and sometimes a lot later on, where you're like kind of somewhat happy with your model, and then you pose it, right, to whatever it's doing. Or you could take the approach where you just start in pose and you get a really dynamic pose usually when you do that, and it feels a bit more like a real sculpture, I think, because you're really considering the pose through the entire process. But the problem is, if there's any details that are mirrored, it's like kind of a pain in the ass, and it's kind of like it's kind of a detriment to your workflow. So what I've been focusing on is like how to solve those problems, and I've like put a bit of work up front into it, where I've got like sort of a humanoid character that I've sculpted, and I've got him attached to, I've got a low poly model, low poly mesh that I've attached to a skeleton in Maya, my posing skeleton, and then I've got a little pipeline where I go back and forth between posing the character in Maya and bringing it back into ZBrush. And then once I get my pose and it's mostly arms and hands, and I mean legs. The model I've been working on has kind of got a big, like, I started a new one, by the way, and he's kind of got like a big, like, kind of gown, but his arms and hands are in very specific poses. He's like grasping at things, which is always a pain in the ass to do in ZBrush. You're grabbing the little knuckle and you're bending it. It's much easier to do with like a traditional rig. So now I take it into Maya, I pose it, and then I feed that back into ZBrush as the lowest poly subdivision. If you're really interested into like how ZBrush works and all that stuff, and then once I re-import that at the lowest, it just brings my sculpted anatomy guy into that pose, and his hands and his his arms are all like doing what I want him to do. And if I want to update it, it's pretty easy to do too. So I think I should be, if it's a humanoid character, I should save a bit more time going forward, and I can focus really just on like the costume design, because that's what's going to change, for the most part. And proportions change too, but that's, once it's in pose, it's easy to like scale up the hands and scale up the arms and do that sort of thing.
This is for 3D printing, right?
Yeah, because I feel like I want to do more characters to support like some of the scenery stuff.
Or is that what you want to really do? Two different things.
Well, the thing is, I've got my plan laid out of the stuff I want to do, but there's not a ton of characters in my plan, because like for one, it's just so time consuming. Characters take a long time. They take more time than anything else I do. So
What kind of characters are they? Like,
uh,
are they set piece characters? Are they like story driven characters? Are they just like little goblins that you're supposed to hit over the head with a mallet kind of character?
yeah, so I want to make sets that are like like a set of enemies, yeah, that ramp up in difficulty and epicness. So
Yeah.
you might have like I'm thinking about a sort of an underground catacomb kind of place. So you'd have like your rodents and your kind of like some feral creatures, and then maybe some zombie type characters, and then maybe some bigger like what are those called?
Trolls,
Just maybe not like trolls, but just like
ogres.
I don't know. Yeah, yeah, kind of like big, gnarly, overgrown things that took too much steroids, and they're like sort of like super mutants, I guess. Maybe more like of a more maybe like a more necro styled
Like
super
abominations
mutant.
almost.
Yeah, yeah, abominations. That's the kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I want like because yeah, I want like a spectrum of abominations,
Yeah.
human animal hybrids, that sort of thing too.
Human animal hybrids.
Yeah, so
Uh,
so I'm working on that.
it's funny because you bring that up because I learned a lot. Oh, by the way, I finished all my STL files and cleaning up all the models and stuff like that.
Oh,
It's all done. Now I'm just doing renders
that's awesome.
and 3D printing as well. So
Yeah, I like seeing the 3D prints. I think that
yeah,
in the paints. What do you got?
got another piece. I don't know if you can see that.
You printed one thing that was fucking tall, man. It was like it looked like it was about a foot tall or something. It was like a
Oh,
big
this thing?
tower. Yeah.
I'm just painting it right now. Well, I know it's attachable, right? It's comes in pieces. Comes in pieces.
Your
So
camera's having
that
a hard
tower,
time focusing.
yeah. Well, hang on a second. Come on, camera. There we go. Focus on this average.
They can't capture all that, man. All that beauty in front of me.
Yeah, that's true. No, it's collapsible, so it doesn't have to print. Because that's actually taller than the actual printer. The
Yeah,
printer.
that's what I was thinking. So like you printed it in parts, or
Yeah, pieces. Actually, to be honest, I actually have to do some adjustments on the radio tower stuff. I'm not happy how stable it is. I want it to be more stable.
cool.
But anyways, I did all that, and I learned a lot from like really rushing and pushing myself, and like getting so many mistakes done. And then I came to a thing like, really putting a goddamn deadline on yourself and sticking to it is so beneficial because there's so much failure in the process and you learn so much and you're just like, holy shit, the next one I'm going to do, like the next thing I want to do, I'm like, I'll have it. It'll be so much more easier from like all the stuff I learned to like watch out for and all the stuff I learned where it's like, this is pointless to really do, and there's actually a quicker way to do it, and just like keeping things a lot more cleaner and stuff like that too in a 3D environment scene.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like my pipeline was so sporadic. I was just like making models and pushing them to the side, making other models, pushing them to the side, and just like I just have all this like pile of stuff that's like not quite ready for the 3D printer. And
Yep.
now it's just like I'm going to approach this so much differently next time around. So much differently.
Yeah, I hear you. There's always something on your model that pops up that you just did not expect to be a pain in the ass, but it turns out it is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that happens too. That happens too. Yeah, I got a lot of fucking printing to do. Like I have like, I don't know, I have like at least 7 models that are over 10 hours long to print or more.
Oh wow,
So yeah.
cool.
So there's going to be a week where like my printer's going to be going for like 24/7.
Yeah, I feel like everything I do is starting to take that long because like Yeah, just because like my layer heights are so thin that it's every print is like, yeah, it's like basically being scaled up, right? Like the amount of travel that your nozzle has to do is so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, like if it's under like 8 hours, it's kind of a quick print for me.
Damn, dude.
I know, but whatever.
Damn,
Yeah.
dude.
Something else I was going to ask you, but no, I forget.
Forget.
My brain, man. I'm telling you, 7 a.m. is like too
Those
early for the
push-ups
brain
didn't do
function.
shit.
Dude, they wore off pretty fast, didn't they? Well, yeah, man. I don't know what else to say here, but do you want to get into what we have planned or what I had planned?
Yeah.
Cool, man. So, yeah, everybody, we're gonna just like have a look at. Sorry, that was nasally there for a second. We're just gonna look at like I've prepared a few Kickstarters that have come and gone, and these are all what they all have in common is they're 3D printing Kickstarters, people modeling, and with 3D printing in mind, predominantly selling STL files in some form, and there's a broad spectrum of wildly successful to not so successful. So hopefully there's like going to be some takeaways here.
I got something to say.
Yeah.
I actually did a bunch of research on Kickstarters, and there's a gang of videos out there of like people being like, this is how you make a successful Kickstarter, and every time they start talking, they bring up like the first things.
Okay.
And I'm totally doing this wrong.
What are the first things? Let's get into that. I want like, do you remember them off the top of your head?
Pretty much. They kept harping on where it was like, oh, you need like an actual following, and you need a mailing list, and you need.
Oh yeah, you need to be successful before your Kickstarter even starts.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm kind of like, really kind of just like, I have a little tiny following on Instagram. I have a little tiny following on Thingiverse, and then Reddit. People have been responding quite well with my my painting on Reddit and stuff. So that's been good. So I'm just like tackling this thing and seeing what happens.
Well, that's something that, like, just looking at these old Kickstarters that I've prepared, like, we won't be able to tell, like, how hot they were coming into the Kickstarter. I don't know what kind of following they had necessarily. And, you can only get so much of a following. Like, you're going to, or whoever you are is, you're on the schedule where you're prepared to launch at this time. And there's only so much you can do. I mean, you can pay for ads and stuff and do your due diligence there, but
well, there's one thing where people do post advertising for their Kickstarter. So they'll be like, Kickstarter is going to start in like for me, it's October 31st. Like I want October 31st, like October 31st. And then I'll say that like 2 weeks ahead. I'll give a little post and then like a couple days will pass by. Like 3 days, and I'll send another post of like another shot where it's like, oh, Kickstarter is going to start and blah, blah, blah. And so you kind of pre-announce it and you keep kind of mentioning it to people,
Yeah.
To get some traction. Yeah. And then that should help generate a little bit of, following and whatnot and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how early that is, like how early you would start advertising that and hyping people because,
I would say 2 weeks. 2 weeks seems pretty legit.
Oh, at least. Maybe even a month. A month flies by.
That's true. Maybe for like a big Kickstarter, but my thing's tiny, dude. Like I said, I got 65 models, very, very small. I'm going to have, I don't know, maybe 5 stretch goals. Who knows?
Sure. Well, don't downplay it. Anyway, I'm sure you'll do fine. Let's have a look at some of these Kickstarters, man. I'm kind of excited.
Share that screen, brother.
Okay, so let's do. How do I use? Okay, share screen.
Powered by StreamYard.
Okay, the one's going to pop up right away, and we're going to judge it on its success or failure, and not. I don't even want to say like
on the actual.
We're not going to judge it on the quality of the art
of that photo.
Of this one photo. Although the people who backed this may have.
I think I've seen this before, actually, to be honest.
it's memorable, that's for sure. If you've
Shut
seen
up.
it once, you probably
Hang
would
on.
stick in your mind.
400 francs.
Yeah, so these are euros, which is I was looking up. I was like, how much is a euro exactly? And it's like $1 is a 1.1 euros. So it's I don't know, around between $400 and $500 in US money, and a little bit more in Canadian. So it's not nothing. I mean,
I'm gonna be a dick and say that
how dare you?
I said that it
Go
didn't
ahead.
it didn't get funded.
It did get no. This got funded.
Of
Everything
course it
here.
did. Of course it did. It's like I said, it's the Wild West out there, man. Like it's just like it's
He got 110 people to back this guy.
110. Oh, that's right.
So he had a €100 goal, which is
110 euros. Oh, okay. I see. No, wait, that's 100 backers, right?
Yeah, 100
what was his
backers
goal?
at an average of $4. So that means people backed more than the $1. They were like, you know what? I'm going to pay more than $1 for this service you're providing. It's not exactly your traditional Kickstarter because this one is kind of like
very crude.
Well, that and it's like an instructional manual on how to create miniatures for printing.
Oh, weird.
So, yeah, I think people are like interested in the process and want to get into it, and it kind of looks like an entry level.
Oh, that's such an interesting. That's such an interesting angle. I never thought.
It's like a course, kind of.
Huh.
Yeah. So yeah, and he's got a whole like rig of a character that's like, well, not a rig, but it's like a cadaver of starting pieces, so you can create your very own character.
So he's teaching people ZBrush how to make their own little characters in ZBrush.
He's definitely using ZBrush. You can see the black and gray gradient here that is a default ZBrush render. If you're putting a screen cap, and probably Maya as well, or whatever, I don't know what this is, but it's using a couple pieces of software here.
Yeah. No, fascinating.
So this guy, even this guy got funded. He's not a lot of production value, not a lot of effort put into the.
Hey, let's be honest. This might be
rendering.
actually a lot of effort for him.
That's true. I guess not a high level of mastery, I could say.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
But he did it. He got funded. He said $100 of the goal. So I don't know, like if there's any point to putting $100 versus say $1 if you want to set your goal real low.
I don't know.
But maybe that's how much time maybe he only spent $100 worth of his own time to prep all this stuff, and maybe that value actually does work for him. But
here's another thing I learned about Kickstarter: all numbers are bullshit. Like the goal number, like they actually want something in between. So it's like not something too low, not something like not your actual amount, and not something too low. It's like something in the middle. Like that's what everybody does.
Who's they?
Just people that make Kickstarters, apparently, and it's very, very true. There's a lot of Kickstarters you see out there where, like actual like Kickstarters where they need money, especially game ones, because we know how expensive games are, right? And you see a game, and they're
I need to change the page. Go ahead.
They make. I've seen this one too. They ask for a game they're making, and they ask for like, oh, we just need 50,000 for this game, and like here's the prototype, and it's like, just as well as me, Alex.
Yeah.
50K only covers maybe one engineer, one programmer.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
So
right?
yeah, if you're lucky.
I always
you
wonder how they
can
do
maybe
that.
get two artists, maybe two artists for a year. But then this thing gets funded like in 1 day funded, and we asked for $50,000 or whatever, and then they get 300,000. They're like, holy shit, we can actually work for 2 years now and actually pay people. So it's kind of like
hopefully in that case there's. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead. You were going to make a comparison.
Not really. I'm just saying like they do that thing. They do it for the 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 braggadocious nature of saying this thing is funded, and it's actually
Mhm.
been shown. It's actually been shown that when get funded quicker, more money gets pooled in because people like to be a part of things that are happening. So it's like a psychology thing where it's like people like see this thing happening and they don't want to miss out. So like, oh, I want to be a part of this thing. It's funded and stuff like that, and they,
Yeah, yeah, I did a bit of reading about it as well, and like you're right. Yeah, people really enjoy that. Like on the other side, though, if you go too low on a project, from what I've read, is that it's like I think it's different, like from the like something that's different about like all the Kickstarters we're looking at today is that usually a Kickstarter isn't completed when it's launched. Like these are going to be pretty much completed as they're launched, so it's really like you're just asking for people to kind of purchase what you made. But
yeah,
like usually a Kickstarter is I've got this new project and I just need some help funding to get it complete. And if you don't ask for enough and it looks apparent that you haven't asked for enough, then backers are going to be skeptical of your ability to deliver on that promise. So anyway, but
that makes
this
sense.
is different, right? So this guy here has a
It's
one
one
euro
model,
goal,
right?
right? If you set your goal to €1, you can't really say project funded 612%
Yeah,
and
it
in
in
one day. You
in
can't really,
3.5 seconds.
yeah, like maybe that's something to consider is that like if you set your thing too low, then you don't get those bragging rates later on to say, hey, I funded this thing
Well,
during the campaign.
what's his deal? Where it's like you give $1 and you get his model, and does he have like a
Oh yeah, let's
ridiculous
do his
amount of
one
stretch?
dollar tier. Thank you. You get a big thank you in
That
capital
son
letters.
son of a bitch. And then you got to pay $30 to get his model.
But you know what? Only one person is interested in this.
It's
Thank
probably him.
you. It's not his mom. His mom would have pledged at least 30.
Yeah, that's
Oh
right.
no, she didn't. She didn't pledge 30, and she didn't pledge 30. So what he's doing here is he's got several $30 tiers where it's one for each because he's got a few different segments. He's got the big robot house.
Yeah,
He's got the tanks and the train. Or I
those are
don't know. He's
awesome.
got a few
Those are
different.
great.
Yeah, the models are really detailed, and I would.
That's straight up 40K lore. Like a lot of that stuff. What I'm looking at is very like in that universe kind of vibe.
Okay. Well, that's good then, right? It looks a little bit more like it doesn't look stylized like 40K does. It looks a little bit more sort of like true to I don't know, more like real life proportions.
That big robot thing. If you go back up, no, go back up.
This house.
Yeah, that thing. That's totally based off of 40K lore. Period.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I knows the 40Ks. Well, a bit enough where when I can see something where I'm like, yeah, that's 40K.
Gotcha. So this guy had one tier that really outperformed all the others. Where is it?
$100 one? There's $90 one. $40.
This one. It was an early bird tier. Heresy Titan Hyperion.
Even the
Whatever
language,
that is.
heresy. Like heresy is a constant word that's brought up in 40K stuff. Heresy.
That describes like a faction or something.
No, it's just because they're purging. They're like heresy. Like okay, so 40K. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent. 40K is essentially like Victorian medieval space opera in a weird way. So there's heretics, and heretics are people that are just like not a part of part of like the the Emperor of Man. An Emperor of Man is essentially like a god man. That's it's a whole ordeal. But anyways, he's
Drop of
got
knowledge, man.
these. Anyways, so once upon a time in Christianity, any time that someone would do something like kind of shady, and it's like, hey, that's not towards Christianity, so we're gonna lop your head off because of heresy or like witchcraft or whatever. So imagine that, but everybody got robot space armor with giant machine guns, and they're essentially in the same vein where they're like, you're doing heresy and you're corrupted, so we're gonna purge you. and you know what I mean. So it's like very kind of like I said, like old English Victorian, you know, medieval space opera. So yeah. Anyway, sorry, I went.
Gotcha. So that's why this robot's got a Victorian house.
Yeah,
On his,
like I was saying, like it's very
neck body.
yeah
Cool.
more gothic than anything.
Yeah. Totally. So I don't know. I think a takeaway from this one is, you know, $35 was attractive to people, and the early bird one. Nothing else really did an impact. There's the train. The train was pretty dope, I gotta say.
Man, I don't know what it is, but English people from the UK, they like their trains. They really do.
Yeah. Well, we've
I don't know what
got.
it is.
I don't know. Maybe people are a little bit more shy.
Also,
about
Canada.
train.
Canada likes trains too.
Yeah, I see train-focused hobby shops. I don't know anybody who owns trains or like collects trains or mods trains but I don't know. There's people out there. Okay, here we go. Bestiary 3D.
Ah, this looks amazing.
This one, yeah. I feel like the art quality is as high as we're gonna see today.
Is that?
What's that? Is what?
Oh, I was gonna say that three-headed dog almost looked like a Duncan Shadows, because the way he does those bases, like that three-headed dog, those bases, that's how Duncan Shadow does his. But that's definitely not. Yeah, that's definitely not Duncan Shadows. I don't think.
Yeah, I see what you're saying though. But oh man, I love this bird. Like
it's a griffin, you ass.
That's a great bird.
Don't
So
call
this
it
is
bird. Holy shit.
$822,000 Mexican bucks. When I did the conversion in Google, whatever,
That's a lot of dineros.
it's something like 60,000 US. So it's like
That's fantastic. Good for
pretty
him.
darn good. I'd say that this is
Dude, he's rolling around in cash. You know what that is? You know what? Oh man, good for him, man. That's awesome. Cause like he's like in Mexico and he's just doing his thing, and then he's just like, fuck, if I just market this to the US or the UK, he's like, you know, people, and he probably just kept his prices like American. He just probably was like, I'm gonna price everything like an American, but I'm gonna ask for my currency.
Check this out though. Look at his tiers, man. 400. Oh yeah, but that's Mexican dollars. I don't know, man. Off the top.
That's like $40, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry. Oh, I have. I thought I had. Oh, I have it here. So what is it? What is it? 400. That's $30 Canadian, I guess. Slightly less beautiful. American. So yeah, okay, that is a pretty good entry level into this thing. So you just don't get the stretch goals in this tier, which is interesting.
Wow, good for him.
So then you've got, you know, another tier, you know, slightly more, nearly $50. You get it all. I like the way he's priced. And then you've got he's like, so I like how it goes from like 1,100 to 1,500 to 1,900. Like those are very upgradable tier amounts. You know what I mean? Like I could see myself hanging out at 11 and then thinking later on in the campaign, you know, fuck it, I'm gonna jump up to 15. Why not? It's only another, you know, it's like I'm paying like for my lowest tier again at, you know, it's an extra 400 or whatever it is. So that's pretty cool. I like that. I like this goblin guy.
That's awesome. Oh, that's interesting. Look at this sickle. Sorry, I'm like pointing at my own screen. Yeah, it's super thick.
Yeah. It probably prints really well, you know, like, man, I always make it too thin. Even though I think I've like made things really thick in my sculpt, like thicker than I normally would, it still comes out looking way thin. Yeah, I like this stuff. Really cool renders. I like the warm and cool. Like I don't see a lot of people doing that. It at least looks different, and you do get to see all the detail that this person has put into these models, which is cool. And then there's a few printed ones, which is really cool to see. I mean,
it's a painted one too.
Yeah. It's too bad it's so blurry. I kind of want to like look at it up close. Look at this crazy thing.
That's a phoenix. Oh, that's very clever. The tails are the base of it.
Hmm. Oh, is that what that is? I
Yeah,
always thought he was like
it's like
sitting on a
fiery
log.
tails. It's like
Yeah,
fiery tails.
this person really enjoys sculpting like wings and furs and those kind of noodly things. Yeah, I feel like these models have really come to life when they're painted, you know, because there's so much detail. Like it's
Yeah.
hard to read here a little bit, but I think once you started like,
Yeah.
you know, brushing on and highlighting and
Ah,
yeah,
damn! I wanted to see some 3D prints of those werewolves.
these
Well,
guys, yeah, yeah,
yeah, they're so crazy.
they got right down to the abs. That's the thing. Werewolves, they need to have abs, man. It's not a werewolf without
I didn't notice that. Like everything's hairy except his abs.
except the abs. That's like the opposite of like people, really. Men, at least. Okay, we got this frog dude who's
It's
totally
a
off.
toad, sir. That's a toad.
You're right. It is a toad. Two poses.
It's a paladin toad.
You've got the just on guard, just waiting, chilling toad, and then you've got the you've aggroed him. You've aggroed this toad, so now he's armed and ready to smash you with his toad hammer.
Yeah.
Big old ogre fellow. Is this an ogre?
That's a
A
troll
troll.
because it says on top.
Oh yeah, in the text, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Well, we're just checking it out. Look at this guy. Even this dude is awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, there's so much content in here, right?
All right. All right.
Wow, we've gone. Okay, holy crow. Sorry, I didn't.
You said "Holy crow" at the crow.
I know. My brain was just activated.
Anyways,
All kinds of wicked stuff. I like these skeletons. They're like nice and thick and.
it must have been one artist because they're all very coherent. Like they all feel all
Yeah.
the same.
I think it was one guy doing all this stuff.
And that's insane though because like this is a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
But you know what though? When you look at that doggo,
Which one? The three-headed doggo?
yeah,
Yeah.
he looks well. You know what? Yeah, no, never mind. No, it looks great.
Yeah. And you know what? Like these two have the same head. And then this one, except for this, he's got
It's just
one
a little
big ear.
closer. Yeah, a
So
little.
yeah, this one's a little bit. Could you might as well pose the third head as something else, but I don't know. That's just me.
Anyways, we should move on to the next one. We should.
All right, this one.
Keep
damn,
talking about. Keep
we
talking.
could go on forever talking about this one. It was really awesome.
But yeah, you know what's crazy about this one? Like oh, Fat Dragon. I know this one. I've seen this one.
Yeah.
But you know what's great about all those Kickstarters we just saw? Like they all just had simple headers. You know, simple like screens. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
sorry, they're not screens, but you know what I'm talking about? Like their little promotional shot. It's like very simple. Like gets right to the point to get people
Yeah.
to click. You know what I mean?
Sorry, I just want to take note of the date of this one. July 14th, 2019, last updated. I guess that's not when it was launched. I don't know if there's a way to see when it was launched.
I don't know.
But anyway, that would be good to know too. Yeah, Dragon Lock, Fat Dragon, this guy, he's got a cool video. He's got fun glossy headers. Really clear what's he's doing here.
He's fucking legacy, man. Like his like what he offers, it feels very legacy, you know what I mean? So like
20, 40, 60.
yeah.
Cool. And you know, while the sculpting might not be as good as the last guy's, but like in my opinion, this guy like
His stuff
he's made a
prints.
point. Yeah,
His stuff
that's what
prints
he's selling.
amazing.
Yeah,
Like, look how good those prints are.
Yeah, yeah. You don't have to worry about, you know, struggling with your printer to get these to print because I saw the video of this one. This is actually comes in two parts. You know, he prints in halves that key together, and you know, so even though it's a kind of like a model, you know, when you look at it, you're like, oh, there's overhangs all over the place. It's he's gone out of his way to design it in such a way that you know it's going to print with no headaches for you, which I think is like the big selling point of this one. And he's got Dragon Lock. I don't know. Is that his?
That's his locking mechanism. It's compatible. It's compatible with Open Lock. But I found out he's actually developing a new locking system in the future that's going to be open source. That's going to be only be like used for, I guess, his kind of tiles or whatever, which will be interesting.
Yeah, and I think I have a Kickstarter that sort of is also going to touch on that in my list here. So anyway, I don't know what to say. Fat Dragons was pretty dope. He made 141,000. This is like the most we've seen so far, I think.
Can I say something about Fat Dragon for a second, though?
Okay.
He did a really, really smart thing, and he has a whole YouTube channel called 3D Printing Dungeon of Horror, I think it's called. I follow it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And the whole YouTube channel is just talking pretty much about, for the most part, how to get your Ender 3. It was cheap. It's what I have, really cheap printer. How to get it up and running, and how to fix it, how to clean it, how to maintain it, how to upgrade it, how to like little tiny tips and tricks and stuff like that, and like stuff on 3D printing. Like, he has a whole channel dedicated to, if you're just interested, if you're just have an idea of like, I would actually kind of maybe want to do this, but I don't know where to start. He has a whole YouTube page to just like, oh, here's all the shit to like help you get ready. And that was like his video on how to build the Ender 3 is what I watched to build my Ender 3. So
yeah, that's awesome.
He's like building this little. He's like what's the word I'm looking for? He's like, I don't know. He's like also like a teacher, and also like he's like, I'm a teacher of how to run this cheap end, non-expensive 3D printer, and I also sell all these cool 3D prints that are optimized for 3D printing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's really going the next level and like servicing his like clientele here, because it's so man, when you first get into 3D printing, it's like a lot to learn.
But also you gotta remember though, like he approaches this very much differently than how we're approaching this. We're approaching this on an artist, more of an art level, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we're making all the models, we're like making the designs, we're like making the themes. Like, I'm sure he has partaking on theming and like what he wants to do, but I don't think he's the modeler. I think he hires somebody else. And
oh really?
Yeah, I think he's just like,
you don't think?
I don't know. I don't think he is. I think he's like the business guy. He's like the face of the business. He makes all those YouTube videos, and he like does the campaign and stuff like that. He runs this business.
I mean, in that case, it would make more sense because, like, to pay the artists, you need a big sum like this because, yeah, I mean, oftentimes the artists don't charge a lot, but I mean, it's something you gotta give them something, right? And so, yeah, that's got to trickle down. So, yeah, I don't know. Tom Tullis. His name isn't Fat Dragon. What?
What do you mean?
I just don't want him to have a real name. I just like to call him Fat Dragon. If I ever see him in real life.
Fat Dragon.
Yo, Fat Dragon. Okay, so this one was somewhat successful. In fact, so like this
I've
Kickstarter,
seen this one.
You have? I think like this is
kind
of like,
demons.
I'd be happy, if I launched my first Kickstarter, I'd be really happy with this. It's enough to kind of fund your next one and kind of make it worth your while. It's like, if you had a few of these in a year, at this level of success,
that's a great fucking Kickstarter. What are you talking about?
This is Europe. I was thinking Mexican dollars.
No, dude, that's really good.
So he's pulling like roughly 40K.
Almost 40,000. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good chunk of time.
Yeah. He has over 1,000 backers. That's potentially 1,000 repeat customers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like the key art. He's invested in, somebody's painted something for him. Like, it's a pretty cool little monster guy.
Yeah.
And he's got really fun, thematic kind of banners. I love these old, like this D&D kind of instruction manual sort of look. Like, he's rendered his characters in like the sketch style, which I think is like really thematic.
Are those renders?
For sure they are.
Oh yeah, they are. Okay. I couldn't tell from back here.
Oh, look at this. He's selling the 2D artwork. So he's selling the renders of his like models here, and 2 people have said, "Yeah, that's all I need, my friend. $10." So he's got like a really cool entry level tier here.
Yeah, but I bet you those renders you get those in the under tiers as well.
Oh yeah, for sure you do. I would hope, although it doesn't really touch on it here. Maybe you got to combine them. Okay, so he's really just got a couple tiers. He has, with regards to 3D files, he's got here. You get my 3D files, and then you get a commercial license for my 3D files, and you can sell them on your own. And that's it. That's all you got. So he's not doing any early bird stuff. He's not like, mixing.
That's what I want to do. I want to make
tiers.
something simple like this.
Mm-hmm.
My tiers. I want like 3 tiers. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. There's not a lot of like incentives to upgrade. There's no, it is what it is. But he's got a like consistent presentation that I think is pretty clear.
I've never seen anybody do it like this either. Like have like the 3D model and then have the 3D print painted out and then really beautiful pictures, stuff like that.
I think it's a
lot of work.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, these aren't painted necessarily. He's got his one kind of like terrain piece thing that looks painted, but these characters are just prints.
Oh yeah.
Maybe they're primed.
Yeah, they're a little bit of a what is it called? Xenolf? Yeah. Anyways, it has an AO.
Yeah.
An ambient occlusion.
The lighting gradient kind of.
Yeah. It's Zenevol. It's called Zenevol highlighting.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's what they use in the, what's it called again? The miniature painting world. That's what they call it. But I call it AO.
Yeah, because we're gamers.
Nerds.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff. There's a lot of content here. He's got characters. He's got set pieces. He's got, I don't know, more set pieces. Oh, cool. Free sample. So,
oh, yeah. I'm definitely going to have a free sample.
I like that. Let's see where this takes me. My Mini Factory. Cool. It's not even a Thingiverse, which looks so
way more professional.
This site is already like so much
a gazillion times better.
Yeah. Although, I mean, at one point, Thingiverse had the ability to like rotate around the model, and it doesn't.
It took that away.
Yeah. What's up with that? Yeah. So awesome stuff. Really, this guy's really focusing on the art. Like I feel like Fat Dragon is like catering to the 3D printer and all of us. This guy's really highlighting his artwork really well. At least comparatively. Cool. What else we got here? Titans of Arborea.
I've seen this one too.
So another one that had, he's got a modest goal, 300 euros. So again, I'm not sure, like, some people had $1 goal. Like, what was the goal here? This is kind of high comparatively. I mean, really not high when you consider the amount of work that went into it, but this is really just like a pre-order.
Alex, you picked all character ones, by the way.
Yeah, I know, right? I was expecting more terrain to be in here, but
there is plenty of terrain. You just didn't pick it because you're serving yourself.
All right, let's see what else is coming down the pipe here. I mean,
I've seen this. I know that's
Biocraft.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's an environment thing. The guy based it all off of Alien. Oh
yeah, this is Geiger, isn't it?
Yeah. He really based it off of Geiger's art during Alien or whatever.
Yeah, that's
very, very cool.
Wow,
very cool.
Dude, look at this quality.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I don't see any layer lines. You must be resin printing, right?
Maybe he primed it and sanded it down good enough, maybe.
Yeah, this is fun. I like the way he's breaking down his assets here.
Gives the measurements.
Yeah. A lot of cool info. Look at this detail too. I think, Man, I wonder if this is like it almost looks like it's like a height map or something. Like not like sculpted, but like kind of an impression based on an alpha.
Hey, dude, he just put that in ZBrush and he just started lifting things probably. Like he probably had a base and just like mushed it all together and just like.
Maybe. What is this thing? Looks like a stick shift from a spacecraft.
It's a thing you talk into.
It's a printable figure. Okay. Stop asking questions.
Stop asking questions.
It's got a.
I got characters.
What's this character? Stretch goal. No, okay, it's just a stretch goal.
3K stretch goal, 5K stretch goal.
Oh shit! Wow, printing this thing would be.
That'd be a nightmare.
I would rather encounter it on a spaceship than try to print it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyways, Alex, we're at the 40-minute mark here.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are. We're at the 45-minute mark here.
Yeah, there's still so many Kickstarters to look at.
Yeah, but we got pretty much the gist of it. You know what I mean? Oh, I've seen this Kickstarter too. I look at like every Kickstarter pretty much. Wow. This gentleman that made this Kickstarter, he does like I think almost 3 or 2 a year.
See, that's awesome. I think that's a good way to go. You know, because every time you do one, you kind of gain a little bit more awareness of your next one, and you start stacking up successful Kickstarters. Kind of adds on, right? And it's a big chunk of change to like just kind of get you going to the next one. So good on him.
What I was gonna say is he has Danny did this as well. Danny from 3D Printable DM. He had these prints where they're just like items. You know what I'm talking about? Quit looking at those. You're not paying attention. Stop looking at that shit.
I'm listening to
Close it down. Close it down. Let's talk.
Danny has items.
Killing me. I haven't seen this one actually. Anyways, he has like these little like interactive like 3D printable models that are like kind of life size. Like one was like a cool like Talon hook thing, and like a bunch of other like almost like quest items that like they're like little things that you can bring to your RPG or your D&D group. Like, and it'll be like a thing where it's like, oh, you got to find the wiggle woggle or whatever, and then it's like you find it and you can actually like look at it, and like there'll be like engravings on it, and then like the engravings will be like a part of a clue for like the quest or whatever. And I've been looking at like people are really getting super creative with 3D printing, and I've been looking at people like making mechanical things that move and like click into place and stuff. Excuse me. I think it'd be really interesting to make almost kind of like a little bit of like a puzzle, not quite a puzzle, but like an interactive prop where you can like get a key, and then like with the 2 keys you pop it in and like opens up, and there's like a little thing in there for the like for your quest or whatever, and then maybe that thing is actually like some sort of like cog or like almost like a key where you can like fit it into another thing and spin it around and it will open up or do something. I think it'd be really interesting to engineer a kind of like interactive quest item that you can 3D print and stylize it. So like maybe it's like an old relic from like a dwarven cave or whatever. So it's like a dwarven carven and like dwarven faces and men with big beards on this interactive prop that you 3D print and paint it out for your campaign or whatever. I think that'd be really interesting thing to approach, because I haven't seen anybody do that before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be very, very hard to make something where it's like I said, like interactive, where you can like, I don't know, like put a key in it and like it pops open this like little chest or what, you know what I mean? Like it'd be hard to do that, but really, really worthwhile, because you could like really, like I said, you can like really punch up the narrative with something like that.
It sounds to me kind of like an escape room where you have like sometimes the puzzles are really physical things and you need to like, you know, mess around with a key or a lock or whatever. You got to grab this thing and you got to do whatever. It's like a campaign is like an escape room in a lot of ways. There's like a series of challenges before you are like successful at the end, and you got to figure it out. You know, you're with your party, so yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. That's probably really fucking loud. I just sneezed.
Well, I mean, it's only as loud as my speakers are turned up to. So don't beat yourself up over it. And God bless you.
I wasn't.
Cool.
Yeah, though. So that was one of the things.
Yeah,
so
man.
all those 3D successful. You didn't even show one that failed.
I didn't find one that failed.
Right now, it's just open. What you're trying to say? You're trying to say it's just open season on Kickstarters?
Yeah, the fish are like swimming into the boat, man. Oh, there's one that's live here that I found. It's doing pretty well.
Like just right now?
Yeah. Maybe let's give it. Oh, since it's going live, let's look at one more, and then maybe we can share the link and help a brother out, right?
Help a brother out with our 12 followers.
Yeah.
Not even. I don't think it's
that's ambitious. That's ambitious.
Yeah. Oh, I have seen this one. Yeah. He. This is a kind of a smaller one, but he has these really amazing kind of. It's all horror themed, and he has all these like models that have a secondary model with it. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember.
Oh well. So if you want to see a failed one, this person I think has one. 2 created, 1 backed. What else we got here?
Oh shit! Yeah, I've seen that one.
So okay, so this person. No, this one says it's backed. Maybe you can't see the ones that haven't been successful, right?
If I
know. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's just this one isn't finished yet, so that's why it says there's 2.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
2 created, 1 backed. Okay, yeah. So it's just because this. Yeah. We
understand.
Sorry, I'm late to the dance.
Yeah. Oh, this one is. Yeah. So he has a character, and then the character has like a story-driven element to it. So it's really cool. So you can see. Stop! Go back up. I hate you.
What's the story here?
What are you talking about? What's the story? There's plenty of story. Like, look, a pumpkin monster. That's a pumpkin monster.
A pumpkin patch and a
pumpkin patch. A zombie lady, right? And there's a gravestone. And if you keep going back up, there's this weird totem, godlike entity thing. And there's a totem pole. And then there's a witch.
And a cauldron.
And then a cauldron. You know what I mean? Like they're all like little story elements. They all connect together.
That's cool.
And there's death in the little dead tree. So like right there, like people could be like, this pumpkin patch. So like you put the pumpkin little patch thing in the campaign, and then characters interact with it, and you're like, oh no, it's a pumpkin monster, and then you switch the minis out, and it's like, it's the pumpkin monster, and then the dead tree thing,
Oh man, yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Whoa. Cool. Hey, it's a box of stuff. Doing 40 orders of prints. So you can actually, I think there's a physical tier here, which is kind of cool.
Well, that's a physical box.
Yeah, that's something you don't see in most of these. But I think it's cool because like you're going to be test printing this stuff, and if you had one of these tiers that was like, okay, I'm only going to limit it to 10 people, and the first 10 people, I'm going to send you my my print tests, and you can have some physical items here. I'm sure somebody would be into that. Yeah. For sure. So that's cool. Go support this one and play with these. Is that all there is?
Well, he has all his stretch goals.
A mummy, a bone pile. Sorry, I'm scrolling really fast here.
Yeah, because you're a monster.
I know. I just want to see, because it seems like not a ton of models, right? Like a lot of these Kickstarters are like 90 or 100 models, like this big library of models. But I think, like the game isn't really how many models can I, put into a thing, because you're not selling them like one at a time. In a way, you should be pricing for that. But it's like, it's how many people are going to back me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't really, if like, yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, you want more people, you want to attract more people than you want to just like have this volume of content.
But also,
Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, you sound really retarded right now. Oh, sorry, I can't say that word. Anyways, what was I gonna say? He also has well, look at me, I sound retarded now. He also has another Kickstarter that's been successful, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I remember I was saying, like, when people back you, they might like submit themselves to a newsletter or subscribe to your Instagram or your whatever, you know what I mean? And they'll follow you for the next, Kickstarter, the next journey. So it could be well where it's, he did well on his last Kickstarter because it got funded, and now there's a gang of people that are like, wow, we really like this person and we want him to do well, so they all came along for the next journey. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Sorry, I left you hanging there.
Yeah, you did.
I agree. It's just because you were a dick for a second ago.
Oh, you got hurt. You got a little hurt.
Anyway, was there anything else you wanted to mention? Because we are up on an hour today.
Yeah, we are up an hour. Fuck, I was gonna fucking grill you on.
Hey, I thought you had some homework. Didn't you have some homework? Well, we'll do that next week, I guess.
Wait, homework for you?
Yeah, I told you last time on the show.
I was gonna give you homework, but you filled it up with all this gobbledygook of Kickstarters. So I was like, okay, let's do this. And I figured, well, that's what I wanted to grill you on. I wanted to grill you on making proper stuff that you're actually like wanting to do instead of sidetracking on all these other weird little tiny side projects. And we had on the weekend. Nobody knows this, but would have made great. I was gonna say Instagram. Great podcast material. We're bickering about. Alex was bickering about me. What I should do. What I should do on my. What I should do on my Kickstarter, and then I was bickering on him where I was like saying like, "Shut up and leave me alone and worry about your own shit," and yeah, I want you to do more tile stuff. I want you to kind of, because you did such a good job with such little time on that first little tile, and I'm just like, why don't you do more? Because you did such a good job. And like, how long did you spend on that tile?
About 3 or 4 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, and now you got a taste of it. So now you like the next one's probably going to take less time, right? And you're closer to that idea in your head that's bumping around.
Yeah. So, well, let's do more tile related homework. I think.
Not me, you.
Yeah. No, I mean next week though. This week or next week. Yeah, I feel like you can't leave it so open ended. Otherwise, I'm just going to turn it up to the minimum.
Okay. Can you get at least 1 hour of work done a day on your personal stuff? Can you do that?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay then, if that's the case, for next Tuesday, you can get 2 tiles done. Not 4, 2 tiles. I think you can get 2 tiles done, and I think like the first tile you did was very, very simple, just kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you should, and like that one was very open ended because like that one was like door and door, right? There's just 2 doors.
Yeah, there's a door and stairs.
You should make one where it's just a door and then it's kind of open-ended. You know what I mean? And then something with that open-ended part that can be attached. So something that's like an exit or an entry that can be used as an exit and an entry, and then something that can be an in-between. You know what I mean?
Like a hallway or something? What do you mean?
Yeah. Like a hallway, but it doesn't have to have walls. It could just be like just a simple tile where you can spin it around, you know, as much as you want, and you can mix and match it. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'll make something. I'll make something to that effect.
You understand what I'm saying, though?
No, not
Ah,
really.
God damn it! I sound dumb. Hang on, I'm thinking a sticky note. So, actually, I don't know if I can draw it out. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is an exit or an entry. So it's just a door. So it's one tile, you know, like 8 by 8,
Yeah.
and it has one wall, and that wall is connected to the door, right?
Uh-huh.
So there's no walls to the side, and there's no walls in front. It's just open ended.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. So it's like you're entering a room that's bigger than that one tile.
Thank you. And then the next tile is a tile that you can put like to make the room bigger. Something that is something that's kind of like the generic kind of middle, like in games. You know what I mean? Like when you're making a tileable texture, you'll have a different type of tiling around the edges, and then you have the center stuff, one type of tile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So something that's like an in-between tile that you can kind of stack and move around and like rotate a bit to get some variance, and then an exit and entry tile. You know what I'm saying?
I think so.
It's not. It sounds. It makes. I think I'm saying it clear in my head. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And try to keep it a consistent style like you had with your last one. And if you want to change it up a bit, because that first one was kind of like a trial run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And think about putting a very faint grid on it somehow. Maybe.
That's what's tricky about it is like this with the style is if I want to make like a cohesive set, then it's like you almost want to build them all up at the same time. So that way you make sure that, because if I make one to completion and then I make another one to completion, you know, it's like it can be really tricky to, you know, maintain, because you're copying the last one you did, and it's hard not to drift. But if you have a whole set, if you have like a set of 8 different tiles or whatever, different pieces that you're all building up in tandem, then they all will get the same treatment because you're kind of bringing them through the process at the same time. You know what I mean? Okay,
then on that note, you brought up a really good note. I know we're stretching along here, but this is important. How about this? How about you start sketching out enough tiles where you can like make an actual set. So like stuff with walls, stuff with like corners, hallways, larger walls. You know what I mean? Like jot down, like on your lunch break, jot down a bunch of like tiles you could do, like to make like a full-on pledged like room. Write them all down, and then start kind of like making roughs where it's just like black and white or just like a little bit of color, or just like kind of whatever. And then in Photoshop you can like mess around with it and place it around and like try to like make it like a demo, and then show the demo to me on Tuesday.
Okay. I'll do that.
And you'll only have to spend like maybe like 30 minutes to an hour on each tile. You know what I mean? And you might have like, I don't know, 5 or 6 tiles.
Dopeness. Okay. Not
even.
You
know what I mean? So like pre-production.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
And then show examples like, oh, you could use it like this, like you could use it like this, and blah blah and stuff.
Oh, so, okay.
And they don't all have to be 8 by 8. You can make like a smaller, tighter one, right? And like maybe like a larger, bigger one, right?
Yeah, because it would be cool if some were kind of hallway, like you can like modular, and you could build your own little arrangement. But it's also nice if you have some rooms that are like, oh, this is a boss room, and it's like pretty epic, and it's not very modular because it is.
Don't even worry about the boss room. Try to get like the bare bones of like what you need for like a simple dungeon, I would say.
Yeah, I think a dungeon needs a boss though. I think you need some rooms like that.
Okay. I'll give you that then. Yeah. Okay. If you want to make a boss room or like stuff that will make it more interesting, kind of thing, then for sure. Yeah.
All right. You've already convinced me, but you're gonna get what you're gonna get. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Sweet.
Good.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna go eat breakfast.
All right. I'm going to do more
What are you gonna
renders.
do?
I gotta do a bunch of renders, so
Cool.
I'm gonna try to get all my rendering done. I don't think I'll be able to get all my rendering done today.
Have we
Well,
seen
actually, I'll get all my rendering done, but I won't have it all like composited.
Okay.
What were you saying? Sorry.
I was asking if we've seen one of your renders yet. Like, are you gonna show them on Instagram, or are you gonna withhold them until you're ready to launch your?
Oh no, I have a couple that I already rendered last night that I'm gonna show on Instagram today. So.
Oh, cool.
Anyways,
All right.
let's fucking end this goddamn motherfucker.
Let's do this.
How
do we usually do this?
I fucking forget. Oh yeah. Anyways, hey, thanks for joining us for another episode and rambling about Alex's fantasies about Kickstarters.
Yeah.
And me saying inappropriate words, and what else? Thanks for joining. It's always appreciated. Anybody watching this or anybody subscribe to this, but would be really nice if you subscribe to this. And if you want to help us out, hit the little bell icon, and you'll get a notification when we go live or when one of our episodes are up. And we always stream on YouTube at 7 a.m. Pacific time, and leave a like and a comment. Leave a comment because we'll probably read it because we don't get comments. So if you leave something, anything, we'll read it. Even if it's us, even if you're calling us dummies, we'll fucking read it. So just leave a comment. It's okay. It's great. We'll read it. What else?
It's true. I think one of our best episodes was based off a comment.
Yeah. What was that guy's name again? Ronaldo? No.
Nope.
What was it? It was a really like sexy name too.
Fabrice.
That's a super sexy name. Anyways, plugs. Alex, where can we find you? Where can we find you and grill you?
The usual Tiger Skull RPGs on Facebook and Instagram. Just type that in without any spaces and you'll find me and my stuff. Antoine, how about yourself? I got links in the chat or in the description.
You can find me on the Instagrams at forbidden_prints, and that's about it. Oh yeah, you can also check out my older legacy work when I was working in the video game industry on my ArtStation, which is just my name, which you can see it right there, down there. And what was I going to say? That's about it. And thanks for.
If you're looking yourself up on Thingiverse, Thingiverse is one word. It's actually one word. Make sure there's no spacing or underscoring.
All right.
That's
right. You can print some of my models on Thingiverse. It's just Forbidden Prints, one word, on Thingiverse, and give it a print. Give it a print. That's it for me, and that's it for Alex. And Alex has to go to work, and I got to do work.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fucking it. So So
most drawn out ending ever.
I don't fucking know. It's one of those days. Days. So Alex, fucking super excited to see your stuff for next week. Oh yeah, I have to go to your house on Sunday.
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So
be other people.
You got to prepare a dish too.
I'm gonna just bring some wine. That's what I'm gonna do.
Such a boozer.
I'm not a boozer. Don't say that. Nobody know. You're gonna make.
You're not a boozer. You're not a boozer.
No, I'm not.
You have other vices.
Clearly.
Okay. All right. That's it. Have a good day.
All right.
Goodbye.
I'm not wearing any pants. Bye.